Hi, I'm Tracy from Cheese Needs. Happy New Year and welcome to This Week in Cheese. Let's start with a farm update.
A quick word on goat mating. So generally goats will know that they're pregnant within 2 days and they won't let the buck near them. They'll be like, no, we're done, off you pop. Generally, every buck I've ever met has been a real you-know-what when he's not getting any. This guy, he's a gentleman. I don't know if they're bred yet. Hey Fraser, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? I can't tell because they're all perfectly happy for him to still be here and be around. Normally, last year specifically, they beat the buck to the point where I had to take him out of the pen and put him in with my chickens because they were actually physically assaulting him. They're all perfectly happy with Mr. Fraser here. And his people mama is like, is he done yet? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm guessing they're all bred. Gonna give it another week just to be on the safe side. Oh, this is because I've just had flu and you need to keep your ears warm so you don't get infected. Because that's the last thing I need. Hello, Miss Goatsart. So I don't know. Have we started the clock early December? Are we starting the clock early January? I know that she's about to cycle back into heat if she's not pregnant already. But yeah, we've found the Holy Grail. Ange, you've got the Holy Grail, a buck that isn't an absolute.
And now a top tip. If you find yourself with some raw milk that you're not going to be using up in a quick fashion, then you can low temp pasteurize it yourself at home. You bring it to 145 degrees Fahrenheit and hold it there for 30 minutes. Now, sous vide is actually really awesome for this. This means I can pop these jars of milk in my fridge and I've got way many more days to use them than the standard 3 days that you get for raw milk. Let's eat some cheese. As part of my Christmas box, 12 Days of Christmas from La Liberté, we have 2 cheeses here to try. Now this is Amazing Grey from Ontario. It's goat milk, farmstead Parmesan, aged for 36 months. That's 3 years to those of you who can't count. Sweet and aromatic. So that's first. And then we have Thea, which is a sheep cheddar from Ontario. Aged 9 months, crystallization, creamy and firm texture. So you can see crystallization in the 9-month-old sheep milk. There is some crystallization also in the goat milk Parmesan. The rind on the Parmesan is exceptional. The color on that is really good. So I'm going in with the younger one first. Generally you would try the older cheeses later because they tend to be stronger. So Thea, sheep's cheddar. A little crumbly. You can see the crystallization. There is some flaking. There are fissures forming here. It smells light and grassy. That's exceptional. That's really good. There's crystals in every bite. It's creamy to the finish. So once you're past the playfulness of the crystals, the smoothness of the paste, it melts on the tongue. It's very creamy. Oftentimes when you're eating sheep and goat's milk, you can taste the lipase. Lipase is sometimes referred to as a goaty flavor. There is not a jot of that in this cheese anywhere at all. The sheep's milk is just clean. It's very bright tasting. There is very little acidity. No sour flavors. There is a little bit of sweetness. And it's still going on now. It's very long-lasting cheese. Oftentimes with sheep's milk, because the fat content is that much higher, you can get kind of a greasy mouthfeel. None of that at all. This is very clean. This is very bright tasting. It doesn't taste farmy or barnyardy. Okay, let's see if we can actually get into the Parmesan. Oh, it cuts okay. The 3-year-old Parmesan, I did wonder if it would cut okay. Now this is goat milk again, from Ontario. Now you've got some of those barnyardy flavors, smells. There's a wet hay to it. Now, the last time that I described a cheese as being wet hay-y, everybody in the comments was like, that sounds horrible. Actually, no, it's a positive flavor. I have animals, I have goats, so I deal with hay on a daily. I find that to be a pleasant flavor. It's not me saying, oh, this is, you know, yucky, this is good. There is a wet hay to it. I would probably know straight away that this was goat without reading the label, but just because I work with goat's milk. Now, this is a 3-year-old Parmesan style cheese. That's really good. That would hold up against any Parmigiano Reggiano. That is exceptional. So it's called Amazing Grey from Ontario, goat milk, 3 years old. And honestly, if you put this next to an AOP Parmigiano Reggiano, I would know the difference because I can taste the goatiness, but that's the only real difference in the flavor profile. This is an exceptionally good Parmesan. That flavor is next level. Seriously, I've got some 2-year-old Parmesan, Parmigiano Reggiano AOP in my fridge right now, and that would stand up very well. There is a slight light hazy tang towards the finish, a little tiny bit of acidity that says to you, this is goat milk and we're not afraid of that. That is really, really good. Amazing Grey, definitely going to be looking out some more of this. I'm going to be in Ontario in April when I have to go to uni, so I will be looking for these 2 cheeses. Really, really good, really enjoyable, really nice cheese, and sliceable as well. At 3 years, Parmigiano Reggiano AOP, cow's milk, is kind of chiselable, not easy to slice, that kind of cheese, whereas I cut through this with a knife, no problem. The moisture on this is a little bit higher than you would get with a Parm Reg. But then it's not pretending to be Parm Reg. It's not trying to say, you know, this is the Italian classic. This is a Canadian cheese. There is a plethora of Canadian cheeses out there that people just haven't heard of. People outside the area where those cheeses are made just got no clue. So I think we all need to try and look for a little bit more Canadian cheese. If this is anything to go by, there are some gems out there. More crystals in the 9-month-old sheep cheese than there are in the 3-year-old goat cheese. I wonder if there is a breed or genetic component to that tyrosine conversion. More study. So here I am with 2 amazing Canadian cheeses, a goat cheese, Amazing Grey, and a sheep cheese called Thea, which is a cheddar, both from Ontario, both good cheeses and both purchased from La Liberté Cheese in the Lower Mainland, who I have found out will ship to me. So Canada is a huge country and we have an awful of cheese being made here that nobody's ever heard of. These are 2 I had never heard of until they arrived in my Christmas selection from La Liberté Cheese. Very, very pleased that I bought that because otherwise I would never have found these 2 cheeses, and I really like them both. So if you are in Canada and you haven't tried any of the amazing Canadian cheeses that we have on offer, get out there. Send me links, send me your favorites, send me the name if you find something that's particularly special, because the cheese world is very centered around either Britain and Europe or the States, and no one else really gets much of a look in. Canada, being the 2nd biggest country in the world, has some amazing cheese producers, so I think we should definitely try and eat a bit more Canadian cheese. These are good cheeses. These are good indications of what's being done in this country. So very, very happy, very proud to be Canadian today. These are very good cheeses.
Thanks for joining me. See you next week.